The door to the hold. It's still powered. I hope there are some full power cells in here. Then I should be able to transmit a signal for 3 days. Even if it's just a simple Morse code. SOS. I can open the door with Mark's card, but I need an access code too. He hates passwords and codes because he keeps forgetting them. So it has to be something he could remember easily, or just look up. I need the key code that Mark set. Sealing foam, specially made for burst pipes, hardens within seconds once it comes in contact with air. An ID card of the Intergalactic Mining Corporation, found in my spacesuit. There's a picture of me on it. However, it's labeled with the name Melissa Luna. This is Mark Bennett's ID card. We've been on lots of missions together and are good friends. I need the key code that Mark set. The cockpit's braces connecting it to the fuselage are still intact, as far as I can tell. But it's hanging to the side quite a bit. I'd better just leave it as is. I don't think I have to do any more about that. I don't think all these flashing lights are a good sign. These power cells aren't enough for an emergency signal. I need to get to the hold. Maybe I'll find some there that are charged more. If I hear low energy one more time, I'm going to go crazy. I need to look for fresh power cells in the hold so I can send out an emergency signal. The TAC-92's wreck. If I could only remember how it crashed. need the key code that Mark set. Mark secured it with his ID number. How can someone so forgetful fly a spaceship?
I'm in! But what is all this stuff? I should stay away from it, but all the technical equipment is down there. Most importantly, the power cells. And with it, my only hope of sending out an emergency signal. It won't work while the gas is coming out with this much force. That would just make the hole bigger. I'm not sure what this stuff is. It might be flammable. A large hook made of heat-proof ceramic. A magnetic screwdriver with a plastic grip. A broken off lever made of heat-proof ceramic with a heavy grip. That would just make the hole bigger. Could release the gas here if it wasn't all collected at the bottom. I can't get any closer. But our equipment is down there and so are the power cells. I need them to send an emergency signal. I could put on the helmet, but that won't help me if I can't even make out the ground. That would just make the hole bigger. That would just make the hole big. Carbon dioxide filtered out of the air is stored here and released whenever needed, and it's pretty heavy in concentration form. It might be able to push this smoke up. A large hook made of Tank number 1 is still about 40% full and emptying very slowly. It's going to take hours for all the gas to release. Tank number 2 is filled with carbon dioxide. It's about 1.2% full and stable. Looks like it wasn't damaged in the crash. If I open tank 2, the gas will be gone within minutes. Yes, it's pushing the strange gas up. But there's still something coming through the leak. Tank number 1 is still about 40% full and emptying very slowly. It's going to take hours for all the gas to release. Tank number 2 is filled with carbon dioxide. It's about 1.2% full and stable. Looks like it wasn't damaged in the crash. If I open tank 2, the gas will be gone within minutes. Carbon dioxide filtered out of the air is stored here and could release the gas here if it wasn't all collected at the bottom. A small but powerful welding torch. Not as aesthetically pleasing as a tiki torch, but more practical. Yes, it's pushing the strange gas up, but there's still something coming through the leak. I'm not sure what this stuff is. I can't stop the gas from coming in with this. Carbon dioxide filtered out of the air is stored here and released whenever needed. And it's pretty heavy in concentration form. It might be able to push this smoke up. Carbon dioxide filtered out of the air is stored here and released. A small but powerful carbon dioxide. This tank is already open. I hope the carbon dioxide will push the gas up now, but I shouldn't be here when that happens.
Four or 5 minutes should be enough. But after that, I need to ventilate the room well.
It worked! Mark isn't down there either, but neither's his body, so that's good. Did he get ejected? Did he leave? If so, where to? Pull yourself together, Tessa. So what? He's not here. You can manage on your own. All you need for an emergency signal are power cells. Okay, this is the last straw. Goodness. Lots of junk, but no power cells. What now? What's this? Oh, a Cognitive Observation Research Entity, or CORE for short. We use these things to reach places we can't get to ourselves. They can fly, scan, send data, and are equipped with a speech module. I need an ID card to activate the drone. Maybe it could help me out of this situation. And even if it can't, at least I'll have someone to talk to. Then I can complain to Core while I'm starving. Cognitive Observation Research Entity, CORE. I need an ID card to activate.
Unit activated. Assigned to Melissa Luna, Explorer. Good day. Core ready to assist you, Miss Luna.
Incorrect. Tessa Carter. That's my name.
Name change, Tessa Carter. Confirmed. I am glad to be of service, Ms. Carter. What are your orders?
Where should we begin?
Nine leaks, 4 hull breaches, 2 broken beams, 14.
1 broken spaceship, 1 survivor. Maybe 2. I hope so anyway. That's all that matters now.
What is your primary objective, miss?
For you to stop being so formal with me. Just call me Tessa.
Of course, altering linguistic database, Tessa.
Right. The next objective is to send out an emergency signal. But I can't do that without power cells, and I have to find Mark, so basically, if I want to get us out of this mess, I've solely got primary objectives.
I do not have access to the ship's database. Who is Mark?
Mark Bennett, about 30 years old, pilot and mechanic. We're the TAC 92's crew.
Registered. What is the status of your immediate surroundings?
Well, I have to take a closer look.
My scanners could help in examining your surroundings.
Good idea. Do that.
Nine leaks, 4 hull breaches.
I know this thing's broken. I meant the surroundings. Let's just scan it outside.
Confirmed. The cockpit is unstable and could break off. It will not, however, drag the rest of the ship down into the abyss with it. At least as long as there is no tornado or earthquake. In that case, the TAC-92 would fly again.
Core, please.
Until it would crash on the bottom of the chasm. This room's hull is intact and stable. No dangers registered. The alarm, the smoke, and the sparks appear more perilous than they are. I am 91.1% certain. Analyzing atmosphere outside the ship. Result, similar to Earth's atmosphere, breathable for humans. You can take off the helmet, Tessa.
Good. I prefer it this way.
It smells slightly burnt, but with the wind coming from over there, it kind of smells like stagnant water. Better than this canned air, anyway. Okay, here's the plan. We look for life, for some water and food, of course. And maybe keep our eyes peeled for any buildings or anything useful. No idea how long I'm gonna have to survive out here.
The Intergalactic Mining Corporation should have already sent out a search party.
I doubt it. Mark and I are just the advance guard, and it's not unusual for us not to be able to send reports. We don't have a set route, either. They'll start looking for us eventually. Eventually. And by then, I'll probably be talking to a volleyball.
But I do not understand what it has to do with this crash.
Never mind. Please scan our surroundings.
Scanning. Scan complete. Scan radius of about 400 meters. No signs of relevantly sized life forms. No artificial constructs or buildings.
Relevantly sized? And what size is relevant to you?
anything bigger than a fully grown male Balinese toucan.
A what?
A male Balinese toucan. Their average size in all dimensions roughly represents that of the average-sized, fully grown earthen life form.
You're joking, right?
Statistics are not a joke.
Well, that doesn't help me. Compare the data to something I know. No more than 8 letters.
Equivalent to a medium-sized dog. Equivalent to a chicken 49.9% larger than average. Equivalent to exactly 11 hedgehogs.
To recap, a Balinese toucan is roughly the size of 1.5 chickens. Any more data?
The environment is mostly comprised of stone. Water and simple flora can also be detected behind the landing zone.
No signs of Mark? Damn. My mineral samples can wait. We should look for water and plants.
New data! I am registering a weak but repeating radio signal.
Where is it coming from?
It originates from the planet's surface. The signature is inconclusive.
Could it be coming from the Intergalactic Mining Corporation?
The possibility of that lies at 29%.
Can you locate it?
I can only ascertain a rough direction. To interpolate a position, we would have to get closer.
I guess I don't really have a choice. Let's see what's behind it. Maybe it's a distress signal from Mark. Incredible. I know why I love my job. Without it, I wouldn't be able to see things like this. We followed the crash's progression. These must be the plants you were talking about. Well, they're not flowers, Core, let me tell you. More of a smelly swamp.
I do not categorize flora and fauna by their feel-good factor, unless you wish to update my software accordingly. In that case, I would request the following hardware as well. Arms.
Okay, forget it. At least it's not just rocks again. What are those tiny lights?
Small life forms.
Interesting. A good sign there might be more to this planet. If we flew over this place with the TAC-92 before we crashed, could something have fallen from the ship that's now emitting the signal?
Theoretically. But the ship's inventory was complete, so the signal I am receiving cannot originate from a technical device known to us.
We can't get any closer. We need to get down there.
You could slide and climb down those rocks there, but they are quite steep and porous, so you could not get back up again.
So a one-way ticket then.
My recommendation: remaining within the TAC-92. The ship's hull offers protection and Mark could return. Then you would no longer be on your own. It would be easier for you to find water together, as well as finding a way which allows for a return to the ship.
But then we still won't be able to send the emergency signal. We should find out what that signal is that you're receiving.
Agreed.
I want to follow that ominous signal. I should get Core to do another scan. Core, locate the signal and calculate the distance.
Scan initiated. Signal detected. Calculating. Calculated distance, 9.4 kilometers. Possible deviation up to 21%.
So about 10 kilometers, or about walking distance of 2 hours. In the summer, with shorts, with an ice cream. On a foreign planet with unknown dangers and terrain, wearing a spacesuit, though, might take a little bit longer.
Including these factors, I calculate a walking time between 9 and 11 hours with a high probability of death.
As long as we find something capable of sending a distress signal at the end, I even prefer some interesting trail over a yellow brick road. What is that? Cord, do you see that? Record.
Confirm. A pulsating light. Recording started.
What was it?
I could not detect any pattern and no repetition. It seemed to be completely random.
And it came from the same direction as the signal. Okay, I've got to go there. Core, will the sun be setting anytime soon?
In about 3 Earth hours. Compared to the Earth, days are slightly shorter here. However, so are the nights.
I see. We'll spend the night on the ship and set out tomorrow.
Information. There are about 3 to 4 days worth of sustenance readily available here for you, if you would like to wait for Mark.
I don't know if Mark is lying around somewhere all messed up, or if he's looking for help, or if he's the one sending out that signal. Even if I've rationed my supplies, they'll be gone at some point. And if there's still no sign of Mark by then, I'm going to have to leave here. Then I'd have to brave the dangers of an unknown planet with hardly any supplies left. No, I think it's best I leave when I feel like it, and not wait until I can't put it off any longer. We're leaving tomorrow morning.
Confirmed.
Nothing left inside. I won't be flying with it anymore, and won't transmit a signal from there. And I'm not exactly up for any climbing.
The cockpit is unstable and could break off. It will not, however, drag the rest of the ship down into the abyss with it. At least as long as there is no tornado or earthquake. In that case, the TAC-92 would fly again.
Core, please.
Until it would crash on the bottom of the chasm.
The cables are broken and the insulation is gone. I have to be careful. I should rest up before I go looking for the signal's origin tomorrow. I can feel the exhaustion in my bones. The rest is junk. The crate. Standard color, standard size, standard contents. Empty. I should rest up before I go looking for the signal's origin tomorrow. I can feel the exhaustion in my bones. Okay, I think we're well prepared. There's a signal, so there has to be someone here. People, or creatures? There was a light. Or was it just lightning, or something natural?
There was a directional light that lasted 4.4 seconds. A bright light. I would calculate that the chances of it not being artificial lie at 9.14%.
Pretty slim odds then. What do you mean by directional?
There was a precise vector, but it changed as it shone.
Could it be a reflection of the sun?
The amount of blue light is too high. The sun as a source can be ruled out.
So it's of a technical origin. Might have been Mark, or maybe he saw it too, which means he'd probably be on his way there right now. I suppose.
If he was ejected from the TAC-92, then he would probably be able to see the smoke and come here. However, if that is the case, he would now be dead at a possibility of 94.1%.
Where would I be without your optimism? So, you think I should stay here?
This place offers shelter, and you can gather resources from the wreckage. It is also the first place any rescue teams would check while searching for you. Leaving this place would be illogical.
But what is logical is that I would starve here and that I'd never find out what happened to Mark. Maybe he needs help, and without him I can't send out an emergency signal. I'd just be wasting my precious time.
As a weak biological life form, you will naturally lose energy and gradually be able to move shorter and shorter distances, which greatly lowers your chances at survival.
You're a real ray of sunshine, Core.
Furthermore, the light signal might vanish and then you would no longer be able to make out its origin.
All the more reason not to stay here, Core. Then I can only hope Mark is still alive and won't leave me hanging. I'd rather risk it and take my fate into my own hands.
Understandable, considering you are an organic life form. However, in the event of an accident, you would be entirely helpless.
You almost sound like Tony, that old worrywart.
Tony?
Anthony, my husband, Anthony Carter.
According to my database, you are unmarried.
Your database only knows about that Melissa Luna on the ID card.
Database update. Tessa Carter is married to Anthony Carter.
Yes, he also works for the Intergalactic Mining Corporation as a biochemist. I can see him right now, drinking hot chocolate together with our son, Finn. Just a few weeks' journey away from here. Please add to your database that Finn is 4 years old. Wait, 5? No, 4. Finn is 4 years old. Anyway, if I want to see them again, I have to survive.
Database updated.
Excellent. I have to take a break. I can't keep my eyes open. You keep watch while I sleep, and wake me if anything happens.
Confirmed.
You wanted to tell me something?
Yes, Mr. Bishop. He offered me a promotion.
Hey, that's amazing! Congratulations, you really deserve it.
Thank you, Tony.
You hesitate. Despite the improvement, you're worried you won't have any thrills in the new job, right?
You went through a lot after the accident.
Yes. I'm lucky to have survived that day.
You must have been very afraid, all alone, on a foreign planet.
Well, yes. But I also felt excited. Free. It was a strange mix of emotions and... Wait. What about Mark? Have you found him?
Yes, we found him. He is alive and well.
Oh, what luck. So, that night I dreamed about the day I was at the beach with Tony, where I told him about being promoted. I don't know what I meant by that.
Let's stick to what you experienced. Please continue telling me what you remember. What happened the following day, when you left?
Good morning, Tessa.
Good morning, Core. How was the night?
No unusual incidents. My scanners detected that you had an uneasy sleep.
Slightly creepy, but correct. It's not great sleeping in a spacesuit. As if crashing wasn't bad enough for my poor bones. We should get going to find out more about the signal and the light. Then we'll see if there's a chance to escape. Or if I'll be turning into a fossil here.
Would you like me to read you some motivational quotes from my database? Even the longest journey begins.
For heaven's sake, don't. I've already got a headache. Maybe we can find something interesting out there. That makes me feel better.
This room's hull is intact and stable. No dangers registered. According to my calculations, the cockpit is going to collapse in a few years, but the fuselage could then be used as shelter. The tanks have been emptied completely, and there is nothing of use in the crates.
A crate. Standard color, standard size, standard contents. Empty.
No changes in landscape or obvious signs of life detected.
I won't be flying with it anymore, and won't transmit a signal from there. I'm not exactly up for any climbing. The TAC-92's wreck.
The TAC-92 type IMC space gliders are known to be quite reliable. At the time of the crash, I was not connected to the system, and the ship's main computer is currently offline. A rescue team will recover the black box.
Okay. Core, has the signal changed at all?
Negative. It is unchanged and still active at the same strength and same relative distance.
I can't see the light anymore. Oh well. Whatever it is, the signal might be useful. Maybe I can repurpose it. Can you fly ahead and scan the ground to tell me where I can walk?
Confirmed.
So far, so good.
You made it look quite easy.
Thanks. That wasn't my first climbing session. But as I thought, I won't be able to get back to the ship's wreckage.
It would be logical to not waste time and instead look ahead, as long as the signal is active.
Somehow I've got the feeling we're going to ask ourselves where ahead even is. I hope ahead doesn't mean through the undergrowth and straight into some animal's mouth.
My sensors would register any animal with Tessa-sized mouths.
How reassuring. There's a swarm of insects here. They look like oversized mosquitoes, sucking on the plant and glowing. So they're the ones causing these strange lights in the swamp. Seems to be some form of bioluminescence.
These are the small life forms that I registered.
They're as big as rats.
The signal is coming from this direction.
A large bubble that formed on the swamp water. A bit disgusting, really. A swarm of insects happily feasting on a plant. They look like blown-up mosquitoes and are glowing green and yellow. I think they're ignoring me.
You'd better not get that close.
There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. And the path seems to be just back here. We have to use the signal as a guide.
This is a dense network of individual plant fibers that extend underground for many kilometers. They are all part of the same species and leave no room for others. The signal is coming from this direction. The signal is coming from this direction. The signal is coming from this direction.
This just keeps getting better. Wouldn't it be nice if life was easy?
Intergalactic Mining Corporation. No progress without obstacles.
Yeah, I know the propaganda.
Do you know the slogan's origin?
I may have mild amnesia core, but I know that I always deliberately disregarded that information.
The IMC's legendary founder, Walter Knight, derived his worldview and ethics from the video games he so thoroughly enjoyed playing. If there are no obstacles or problems in your way, then you're going in the wrong direction, is what he always said. You should be on the lookout for obstacles. Hence, no progress without obstacles.
I thought some overpriced advertising company had come up with that slogan. But it's even worse. He came up with it while wasting his time on video games. Well, I guess he wanted to appear more down-to-earth, our Mr. Knight. And that's how people actually see him. Because they bombarded us with the slogan in every commercial.
My market research data shows a correlation between the slogan's frequent repetition and the IMC's customer ratings.
How nice for the IMC. Okay, obstacles. So that means we should be heading towards those mountains over there. They count as an obstacle, right?
Correct. The signal is still about 4.1 kilometers away.
And how are we going to get down there?
Unfortunately, I have no data on how to overcome real-world obstacles. The signal is coming from this direction and is about 4.1 kilometers away. There is a 29-meter descent here with nowhere for us to climb down. The only way up appears to be this plant that has broken through the cliff over there.
Can you follow it?
The plants are too thick and their materials are too similar. My sensors cannot distinguish between the data.
A lake that this huge plant grew into. It almost extends right up to my cliff. Only about 20 or 30 meters deeper. A huge plant that broke through from above and grew into the lake.
There are insects sucking on it, glowing.
If it's growing upwards, it has to be somewhere on this plateau.
That is to be assumed. There are many here, but it is not clear which one it is.
I once spent a week on a planet with a similar view. Back then, I planned every expedition in a way that I could enjoy that view as much as possible. Now, I'd almost be happy to see the boring interior of a functioning spaceship instead, and without any surprises. But only almost.
As expected, I was unable to identify the plant with my sensors. If it's growing here, we have to find it some other way. The signal is coming from this direction. The insects here probably glow red due to the different coloration of the water. My sensors detect blood in the water. The reason might be behind this plant. The signal is coming from this direction.
There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. And the path seems to be just back here. But we also need some kind of reference point that we can follow. The signal will only take us to the edge.
This is a dense network of individual plant fibers that extend underground for many kilometers. They are all part of the same species and leave no room for others. The signal is coming from this direction. The signal is coming from this direction.
These remind me more of corals than of plants. They're even moving slightly, but apart from that, they seem uninteresting.
Corals on Earth are more akin to animals than to plants.
Tony would have been delighted to try and find out what exactly these things are.
The signal comes from this direction, but you will not be able to overcome the water. There's bound to be a way around it. The signal is coming from this direction.
The roots here have grown to become a net-like mesh. A lake that this huge plant grew into. It almost extends right up to my cliff, only about 20 or 30 meters deeper. Can't tear it away. The plant is too sturdy.
The signal is coming from this direction and is about 4.1 kilometers away. There is a 29-meter descent here with nowhere for us to climb down. The only way up appears to be this plant that has broken through the cliff over there.
Can you follow it?
The plants are too thick and their materials are too similar. My sensors cannot distinguish between the data. As expected, I was unable to identify the plant with my sensors. If it's growing here, we have to find it some other way. The signal is coming from this direction.
The water in this pond is very shallow and has a different color. It's red-brown instead of yellow-green. It's protruding from this red water here. The insect is also glowing red. Unlike the others, these insects are glowing red. I can see something beneath it. Oh, and it reeks. Oh, that's a dead animal. Or, well, what remains of it. Looks like it's been dead for a few days. It's got feathers. Is that
A toucan.
What? No, that's impossible. It has to be some other animal that just looks very similar. There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. But we also need some kind of reference point that we can follow. The signal will only take us to the edge. I don't know how it died, but it lost a lot of blood afterwards, which then ran down into the water. There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. And the path seems to be but we also need... Incredible how dirty, brackish, green, lentic, stinking water can give life to all sorts of creatures. But we humans are disgusted by it.
This disgust prevents you from drinking it and transporting all kinds of bacteria and parasites into your organism. Tessa.
Thanks for the reminder. A small crater filled with blue-tinged, slightly strange-looking water. Is there something glinting at the bottom of the crater?
Confirmed. There is an object consisting of various metals and salts in the middle of the crater that is shimmering blue. The crater is about 1.9 meters deep. The water inside is at a level of 1.4 meters. The blue color seems to come from a reaction with the meteorite's salty elements. The signal is coming from this direction.
This plant seems to be dead and dried up, even though there's water in this crater. Looks like all the other plants had the same fate. And there aren't any insects here either.
My sensors indicate that the roots of these plants have been damaged and the capillary vessels have been blocked by salt residue. The plant died of thirst.